who gives a shit about Ukraine? Why are we there in the first place? Like, we're talking about evacuating Americans from there. Why are they there in the first place?
Yeah,
you know
why?
what I mean? So we're going to do a little background on that today. Talk about some of the dumb shit that's led to this, why it's completely unnecessary for us to intervene. And then on Friday's show, we're going to talk about something that everybody seems to have fucking memory hold. Like, everybody seems to have forgotten about this fucking half-decade-long corruption scandal for Joe and Hunter Biden that took place where? Ukraine. What the fuck? And now all of a sudden we're trying to go to war there. Isn't that bizarre? Is nobody fucking putting the pieces together here?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
It's fucking nuts.
Anyways, so on January 14th, U.S. officials accused the Kremlin of sending saboteurs into eastern Ukraine to create a provocation that could serve as a pretext for invasion. The the Biden administration did not release details of the evidence it had collected, but Jen Psaki claimed the operatives were trained in urban warfare and explosives. And then she told them, you know, if they're unhappy about things in Ukraine, they should just take a kickboxing class or have a margarita.
I mean, I just don't understand, like, why the fuck they even, like, why stay out of it? It's almost like the United States of America with this is sitting back and, like, stoking. Like, it's like, okay, well, if they're not going to fight, like, we're going to build a narrative.
Yeah,
to where they have to fight.
I'm hearing from a lot of really smart people that Russia is not going to invade.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. During a press conference, Jen Psaki, who is a fucking bumbling idiot, said Russia is laying the groundwork to have the option of fabricating a pretext for invasion by accusing Ukraine of preparing an imminent attack against Russian forces in eastern Ukraine. Now, let's be really clear from the get-go. The Ukrainian government is about as corrupt as a government can be, right? It is in the area they're talking about where the Russian troops are assembling is already more or less controlled by Russia and has been since 2014.
Yeah.
Right, so this is nothing new. So, according to the press briefing, the Russian military planned to begin these false flag operations several weeks before a planned military invasion, which could begin between mid-January and mid-February. The allegations were clearly part of a strategy to try to prevent an attack by exposing it in advance, or that's what they telegraphed. Anyways, on Tuesday, Russia announced a series of military drills along its borders, spanning from the Pacific Ocean to the Ukrainian border. But this, again, is not new.
This is all shit. They do it all the time.
Yeah, Russia was running, if you recall, in August when we were pulling out of Afghanistan, they were right across the border, right? Fucking doing military exercises is what they do. So, excuse me. The maneuvers involve tanks, drones, and ground troops ranging from regular infantry to highly trained paratroopers. You're welcome. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, they also included 3 Navy ships taking part in joint drills with the Chinese fleet in the Arabian Sea.
I mean, but we run drills all the time.
Mm-hmm. We're doing it right now. We have 3 ships over there right now doing this stuff. According to the, near Ukraine, Russian heavy-duty armored vehicles and other equipment were unloaded from rail platforms in Belarus as part of planned drills with Belarusian forces. Belarus shares a border with Ukraine, and NATO officials have warned that Russian forces there could threaten the Ukrainian capital. However you say that word, K-Y-I-V.
Kiev.
But are you Russian?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Comrade.
Yeah, you're fucking dead.
Yeah, dead.
In Crimea, which was annexed by Russia in 2014, this is the area that everybody's super worried about. It's not Ukraine. That whole section of Ukraine has so many goddamn Russian loyalists. It's ridiculous. Anyways, in Crimea, which again annexed in 2014, Russian tanks carried out shooting exercises, further increasing tensions. The Russian contingent in Transnistria, a breakaway region of Moldova, was put on combat alert, which the Russian Defense Ministry claimed was part of a planned exercise. Further maneuvers have been reported in the North Caucasus and in the Ivanovo region near Moscow, where mobile missile launchers like MLRS systems used for intercontinental missiles began patrolling the area. These drills are being carried out amidst rising tensions between NATO and Russia over a possible Russian invasion of Ukraine. And just to be clear, Ukraine is not part of NATO. So there's no legal requirement here for NATO to respond, or especially not for the fucking United States to respond. And by the way, NATO, if you're out there, if you're listening, start paying your fucking bills. You have an agreement to pay a certain percentage of the budget, and you're not doing it, and we're paying all of it. It's just like the UN. We need to shut these organizations down. It's fucking ridiculous.
Just like Fauci.
What about Fauci?
We need to shut his organization down too.
I think we just need to dunk on him.
Let's do it.
Like challenge him to a dance competition or something, right? Break dance competition, and then just whip his ass. So the Western response that you've been seeing in the news. U.S. and NATO have made a number of military moves aimed at deterring Russian incursion into Ukraine. Diplomatic talks between the U.S. and Russia were carried out recently in Geneva, Brussels, and Vienna in an effort to de-escalate the confrontation, but ended without any agreement being reached. The U.S. has threatened severe financial and technological sanctions if Russia invades, and said it would consider arming a Ukrainian insurgency to make any Russian occupation an expensive and bloody one. And right now, in addition to the roughly $800 billion defense budget for America, the Democrats in Congress are trying to push through $500 million and just send it to Ukraine.
No.
For whatever, right? I mean, we just sent $300 million to the goddamn Taliban, so we may as well send $500 to Ukraine, right? It's only $800 million more. Who cares? Just money. Doesn't belong to you. Fucking cunts. Defense Secretary.
And what do they think that's going to do for them?
I have no idea.
Like, if we give them money, like, what's that going to do?
Well, I think it's going to be, they're going to use it to buy guns and shit. I would assume.
I believe they just sent a couple 100,000 Javelin missiles, like, in the last couple days.
Sweet. I'm sure those will get used against us at any point, right?
No. Yeah, well, we won't ever get those handed to us.
Javelin missiles are dope as fuck, by the way.
They are.
Anyways, Defense Secretary Austin and Joint Chief of Staff Milley, who are unfortunately both still alive, have warned their Russian counterparts that any Russian victory in Ukraine would be followed by a bloody insurgency similar to the one Soviets faced in Afghanistan. It's only kind of true, and it's also only true if America funds the insurgency, which I guess they're telling. I mean, look, Milley always said he would warn his counterparts if we were going to invade. So
yeah,
there he is doing it.
I'm sure he's already told. Yeah, well, there you go. That's true.
In response to the increasing number of Russian troops near Ukraine, the Pentagon has put 8,500 troops on heightened alert, but as of yet, no deployment orders have been given.
What's 8,500 troops going to do?
I'm gonna back up here. So at the end of the initial rising tension segment, we talked about all these maneuvers going on in and around Russia, and now we're talking about 8,500 troops. I just want to clarify for anybody that hasn't been involved in this at the policy level yet, or whatever, that this is not in any way out of the ordinary. There's a lot of tough talk going on, a lot of numbers being thrown around, a lot of exercises being talked about. I made a post about it, 2 weeks ago, about these special operations urban guerrilla training going on at Fort Bragg. No, it's Robin Sage, and it happens 6 goddamn times a year, every year since the early 1980s. It's not news. They're not training to come to fucking conservative people's homes and rip them out of their beds at night. But that's what the fucking newspaper wanted you to believe.
Yeah.
And now these assholes want you to believe that Russia doesn't always flex when something's going on. They always do this. And the 8,500 troops for the U.S. that are on standby, newsflash, asshole, they were already on standby. It's called Division Ready Force 1, DRF 1, and it's the 82nd Airborne, and a brigade plus some slice elements are always on 18-hour recall. Always. One of the brigades is always on recall. Not only that, there's another brigade that's on 72-hour recall.
The Marine Corps does the same thing.
Yeah. Well, you guys not only have that, but you got MEWs.
Yeah.
Right, that are in specific regions.
Yeah.
Waiting for shit to pop off. This is always the case.